I'm just gonna say a lot of things that people are gonna be upset by. Hi, my name is Julie, known as Salakaby. I guess I'm in a little Tay-Tay moment because my last video was about her new album, Lover. And in that video, I said something about how I think Cornelia Street is like the throwaway song of that album, implying that I think Taylor Swift has one throwaway song in all of her albums. So I wanted to talk about why that is the case, and I wanted to go through each one of Taylor Swift's albums. I wanted to go through each one of Taylor's albums and talk about the song that I think is thematically, socially, lyrically, era-wise unnecessary to the album. I believe that every single Taylor Swift album has one. And people are gonna fight me about this because Taylor Swift is an amazing writer, and she's also super smart and very intentional about the things that she does and the music she releases and the way that everything works together to fit her image in that specific era of her life. So for me to talk about there being filler songs in her album might make a lot of people upset at me. But let's just talk about it. You might think I'm bulletproof, but I'm not. What is the hair doing today? So first I just want to say, I'm not saying that these songs are bad songs. I'm saying that in the theme of the album and the era of Taylor's image, they're unnecessary and irrelevant. That doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad songs, but also some of them are. Stay tuned. First of all, you should check out my singles. They're out everywhere now. Frankly, I Blame Charlie Davis, Smoke, Twice, Too Good at Lying, Don't Know Why's. Please take a gander with your ears. Okay, let's go. Also, I'm not doing deluxe versions of albums because the point of deluxe versions of albums is that there's a lot of semi-unnecessary songs in them. That's why they weren't on the original album. Okay, her first ever self-titled album, Taylor Swift, 2006. So this was Taylor Swift's very first album in which she introduced her personality as an artist and basically introduced us to the narratives that she would tell about herself and about the world in her music. So I'm not gonna make this an exact science, even though if I thought about it a lot more, I definitely could. But in every Taylor Swift album, there's gotta be 3 to 4 really strong, iconic songs that are either singles or that after the fact are like the most popular songs on the album, because those help shape the general perception of Taylor Swift during that era in her life. In the country Taylor Swift albums, like the first 3 ones, she's gotta have some songs that continue to tell the narrative of her being the invisible girl that nobody knows about, that's pining after the boy, that is on the outside, she wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts, the invisible, quiet, wallflower loser. So A Place in This World, the outside, invisible. You gotta have the sad heartbreak song, the angry heartbreak song, the inspirational song, tied together with a smile. So in the first Taylor Swift album, she's trying to paint a picture of who she is, which is this quiet outcast girl who's pining after boys, who is just unsure of herself, doesn't know what to do, but has good friends, a heart of gold, and some really delicious love stories to tell. But also on the flip side, will lick all your silverware while you're sleeping and trash your house if you cheat on her, So I think the throwaway song in this album is Cold As You. I think it's in general just kind of like a weak song. I think there's other songs on the album, Shoulda Said No, Picture to Burn, that already fill that sentiment. And so I think that Cold As You is totally like irrelevant and like unnecessary to be on the album. I'm just gonna say a lot of things that people are gonna be upset by. Fearless. Fearless. I love this album. I think it's so good. Okay, so I think in Fearless, Taylor's painting the same picture pretty much as she's painting of herself in her first album, but it's just a lot more concrete and her persona is a lot stronger and her emotions and the songs that she writes about the emotions she's having are stronger. That being said, I think that Tell Me Why is pretty irrelevant to this album. I was almost gonna say that Hey Stephen was it, even though I love Hey Stephen. I think it's just like so sweet and cool. But I think that the correlation between Hey Stephen and Stay Beautiful, even Teardrops on My Guitar, basically Taylor establishing a theme in her albums of saying boys' names in songs makes that actually a necessary element to the album. Tell Me Why. There's already the angry heartbreak song and the sad heartbreak song. Forever and Always is pretty much the angry one. There's also in Taylor's early albums the For the Folks at Home songs to remind you that she's very grounded in her friendships and her family. A little shout out to the fam. But White Horse was a sad breakup song. Forever and Always was the angry breakup song. Oh, White Horse is like so good. Tell Me Why is this weird emotion that's between the sentiment of anger and sadness, and so it just hits very weak and I feel like it's just kind of irrelevant. All right, Speak Now. Speak Now had some good songs on it. I'm still a little confused why it's called Speak Now, because the actual song Speak Now is like one of the worst songs on the whole album, and it's kind of weird that they would make that the title track. Can we talk about how good Enchanted was? The build of the emotion in that song is so good. So I think the throwaway song in Speak Now is actually Haunted. As I said, there's already the angry heartbreak song and the sad heartbreak song. Back to December, and the Story of Us is kind of an angry song. She doesn't have any like really angry songs in here that are about boys, but she has Better Than Revenge, which
go off, Taylor.
And she has Mean also. So all the slots for angry songs are filled, and Haunted is just like sonically kind of not great, kind of irrelevant to the sound of the album. It's time for Red. Get lit. Red is so good. Obviously no one's debating whether or not Red is good. It's amazing. So the point of Red is that she's melding the pop and country sound together, which she does so amazingly in 22, and in I Knew You Were Trouble, and in We're Never Getting Back Together, and in State of Grace. State of Grace. I think that some of the songs that sound really country are necessary to keep her in the country vibe, so that there's that balance between the pop and country. But I think I Almost Do sounds kind of like a track 7 kind of irrelevant song from one of her older albums, because Treacherous has a similar sound, but I think that Treacherous is a lot stronger of a song, and so it feels like it's very intentionally balancing the sonic difference between pop and country, whereas I feel like I Almost Do is more of a country sounding song, but it's not a very strong song. So it's just kind of like, I was gonna say Stay 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 just because I have a bias towards like not liking that song very much, but Stay 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 is very relevant to the time period because of the way that it sounds. The fact that it's on ukulele with xylophone was literally the sound of that era, the whole whale, rainbow, ukulele, bicycle, 500 Days of Summer thing. So it was very necessary. Whereas I feel like I Almost Do, in my opinion, it just doesn't cement itself sonically enough to do anything for the album. Okay, 1989. Sis, I wanna say every single song on this album is brilliant, iconic, so strong, like absolutely incredible. But then Taylor decides to throw How You Get the Girl in there, which it's like, I don't understand. Literally, How You Get the Girl is like not only a weak song, it's like lyrically and sonically immature. Like it sounds like something from one of her older albums, considering that literally all the other songs on 1989 are working real hard to make Taylor Swift exactly who she's painting herself to be in that era of her life. How You Get the Girl, it sounds like something that was an accident. Like, I know that I don't feel super strongly about the throwaway songs in that earlier album, but 1989 is so good. Like, so good that it is crazy to me that How You Get the Girl made it on the album. It is completely unnecessary and irrelevant, and even just as a standalone song is just like a piece of shit. Like, I'm sorry, I feel very strongly about this. Okay, Reputation. So this was hard for me because there's songs that I don't like on Reputation, but it's not because I think they're bad songs. I wanted to say it was Dancing With Our Hands Tied, but I think that Dancing With Our Hands Tied says something, for one, interesting about her ability to write metaphors, and I think that the relationship depicted in the song is necessary to the image she has in the album. Whereas, okay, I love So It Goes. I think it's such a good song. I think it's really well done. I think it's really interesting, but I think the sentiment is really just a mixture between Dress and King of My Heart. Describing it as So It Goes, I feel like is a kind of weak way to express that sentiment. I think it's like a super cool song and I like it a lot, and I think that sonically it's super interesting, but I think that it's unnecessary to the narrative of the album.
Fight me.
All right, Lover. I've already talked about this. I think Cornelia Street is completely irrelevant to the entire narrative. It's like a fun song and there's some interesting lines in it, but it's just kind of a throwaway song in terms of how good the rest of the album is. But if you have a really good reason to why you think I'm wrong, I would love to hear it, because I don't feel super strongly about that one. I feel very strongly about How You Get the Girl though, and I will fight you on that. Those are all the throwaway songs in Taylor Swift's albums. I would love to hear you guys' opinions, and I would love to fight with you in the comments. You can fight it out. I would love to hear your reasoning for why you disagree with me if you do. And please check out my singles and please subscribe to my channel, please. Cruel summer. Anyway, have a great day.